Welcome to the visual guide for Coral Aerie, one of the new dungeons added to the game with the Ascendant Tide DLC. Treasure's dungeon is very generic and easy, so are the secret bosses with the mechanics of level don't stay in red, don't overlap red, and nuke, so I will only talk about actual boss fights on hard mode. Let's look at Maligalig. A random player gets a circle which does ramping up damage to everyone in the area. Place a circle inside the donut as soon as possible to remove both and avoid getting killed by combined damage. Some random players will get a red mark above the head, and soon after, red Jager bombers will target players and explode when in melee proximity, and one-shot everyone who is not a tank. Move away or dodge the explosions and try to not stack them on other players. At 65 and 35, the boss summons a whirlpool. Try to stack together before that happens. In the water you take ambient damage and can only do a full circle at best without dying, so use one of the 6 jumping pads to reach one of the 3 side balconies. On the balcony you take ramping up damage which places stacks of debuff on you. If you cannot kill the adds there before they kill you, leave them and jump in the water to survive. This phase has no time limit, and the water also removes stacks of debuff. Generally, skipping one pad and jumping up on the back of the next platform will keep you in the water long enough to remove the debuff, but to be absolutely sure you can skip one platform. After you've killed everything, you will be ported back to the boss arena and all mechanics will repeat. Next boss, Sarydil. This one can be overwhelming with all the AoEs, but don't be scared, it is very simple when you get the positioning down. Soon after they engage and at the start of each phase, boss will port to the opposite side of the room, leaving a lot of purple AoEs. When boss casts a set of red AoEs, it will follow with a point-blank AoE attack, which also knocks back you, but can be sidestepped or blocked. Around 70% boss will jump away and you will have to deal with several odd waves. During this time, several players will be marked with the red symbol and leave a trail of small circular AoEs behind themselves, in addition to more AoEs placed by adds. Keep those trails as tight as possible on the same side of the room, but do not overlap with each other. Move to the free space after and finish up add wave. This will trigger a trap explosion and the arena will become clean. After boss lands, you will have 2 new adds, Storm Shapers. They do not have to be killed, only interrupted, and the big storm AoE will disappear. One player will also be randomly marked during boss phase again. At around 33%, boss will port away second time, and you will get a new type of the ad which has to be focused ASAP due to his annoying mechanic. His attack is indicated by a hollow growing circle under player's feet and can be blocked to avoid knockback. At some point, boss will split into 8 shades, which have to be bashed, and attack stops as soon as you find the real boss. It can happen multiple times per fight. After boss is back last time, you will have all previous mechanic overlapping in addition to a lot of adds. And finally, the last boss. Boss's heavy attacks are special. Unless the tank blocks it, it will do the group-wide knockback and deal damage. If the tank can't block it, and is forced to dodge roll, every other group member should block to avoid knockback into the water where you will be eaten by the slaughterfish. All players will be affected by a targeted dot which will leave a small AoE on the ground after, which persists for prolonged time. Stack them closer to save space. 3 random combinations of white AoEs will appear on the island, dealing lethal damage on the hit. Move to safe zones appropriately. Red mark above the head will indicate that the player is targeted by a sea orb, which moves to him with accelerating speed. Orb can be either killed, or player can trigger explosion early and call for a block, as it will do group-wide damage. Remember that it is not safe to do so in execute because of overlapping mechanics and lots of incoming damage. Lightning Griffin will trigger 2 already known to player mechanics, Cold Lightning alike to Cruggling Trials, and Storm Cloud same as in Tempest Island. Both deal high damage, avoid standing in it and focus Griffin ASAP. Air Griffin is mostly harmless and only summons 2 air swirls which deal high damage on hit. Safe zone is either inside the Griffin's hitbox or at far range. 2 players will become tethered by a bright purple link. They will take moderate damage while they are linked and have to stay close to each other. If they will remain apart for prolonged time, both of them will die. If a non-tethered player will cross the link, all 3 of them will die. If one of tethered player dies, Other one dies as well. Position yourself appropriately and keep healing under tethered players. All mechanics will repeat and overlap until 25% of boss health. At that time he will become invulnerable and the big griffin will spawn, which has to be focused down before you can continue killing the boss. Beware of the spiral patterned lightning AoEs, dodge roll through them or make sure you get only hit by one and healed after. You will still have sea orbs, waves, mental wound and mind links happening during the execute. That is all I can tell you for now. Feel free to ask questions in the comments, and thanks for watching.